Hello and welcome to the Flexible Workspace Association International Men's Day webinar. I'm Michael from IWG PLC, also a board member on the Flexible Workspace Association. We're joined today by Leon McQuade of Andy's Man Club, who will shortly be taking us through a presentation on the importance of mental health within men. Should you have any questions at any point, please pop them into the chat box where I can sort of go through them after the presentation, and we can get Andy to take us through, Leon to take us through anything from there. Over to you, Leon.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, great to be here. Just a quick introduction about myself. My name is Leon McQuade. I'm co-founder of a business called Think Cloud, but I also help as a director and trustee of Andy's Man Club. We've been going for quite a few years. So a couple of sort of top highlights, around Andy's Man Club and sort of my own career is Andy's Man Club won a Queen's Award. We're really proud of having a Queen's Award. It's the highest award an organisation can achieve for the work they do within the community, and it's not one what you can apply for, it's one that's given. Also personally received a High Sheriff's Award for the work within the community. We've also won an ITV National Diversity Award, and I also lecture at the Hull University Business School as an entrepreneur in residence. But what I need to really speak about today is Andy's Man Club. And one second. So Andy's Man Club, and I think when I first got involved, we wasn't a registered charity, and I had this stat, and over 4,500 men take their own lives every year, and men don't talk due to stigmas such as weakness, burden, and embarrassment, and the toxic phrases we hear such as man up, and when you look at that, that's a serious problem. That's 12 men every day, 1 man every 2 hours. If you just stop and think about that for 1 second, the highest risk to our life for men is ourselves. 1 man every 2 hours, and no one's talking about that. So Andy's Man Club, is an organisation that's we got founded to solve that problem. I don't think there's a bigger problem on the planet than people taking their own lives, if I'm honest, personally. And again, suicide is the single biggest killer of men under 50, which is just, madness to think about it. And Michael, me and you, as 2 men stood on this, webinar, the biggest risk to man in our life is ourselves. So if you just stop and think about that, anyone watching this, we have a serious problem. So a bit more about Andy's Man Club and what it is. So tragically, Andrew Roberts tragically took his own life without word of warning. And Luke, his brother-in-law, decided to start a coffee club for men with his mum Elaine. And it was for men to be able to come together and talk with other like-minded men before emotions got out of control. And on the 30th of June 2016, Andy's Man Club post was put on Facebook. And due to the response, the first group was held on the 4th of July. 9 men attended, and Andy's Man Club was born. I'm just looking at it in a bit more detail. 2 weeks after that, Luke came up with It's OK to Talk campaign, and he shared that on social media, and it's been recognised, that single post there has been recognised as the biggest mental health campaign on the planet, with over 100 million people taking part, including Hollywood actors, sports professionals, and here's just a few photos of people who have taken part in that campaign. So Ricky Gervais, sports people, and other people within the community as well. So my story with Andy's Man Club and what it means to me. We started a club in Hull originally. When I originally got involved, and just linking this back to the sort of flex space. My organisation is based out of the Deep Business Centre. We're a technology company, and originally when I got involved in Andy's Man Club, it was because I wanted to give technology free to an organisation, and I wanted to give some time to an organisation, and my wife found Andy's Man Club. But back then, when we first started, a lot of my friends, so in this picture, these 6 of us in total, and 2 of my friends was really struggling. There's Paul Longley here in the middle. He's gone on to run his own organisation. He also works out the space at the Deep. He runs an organisation called Think Mental Health, but he's been a project development champion in Andy's Man Club. He's run Andy's Man Club with me for many years, and it's gone on to really help him, because we went from just us 6 in Hull, and then went to over 150 people turning up to use our clubs. that's when we realised we had a huge problem within the region. And that's when I got more involved and became a director and a trustee, because, open the doors to 6 men turning up, and then, only a few weeks later, I think it was 84 men within 6 weeks we had turn up. We knew we had a serious problem within the region, and then we've gone on to grow and open more clubs. So there are a couple of other highlights. Back in 2021, we received a High Sheriff's Award for the work we do within the community, and we all remember wearing them masks. And again, that picture was taken from within my own offices, but Andy's Man Club ran within these offices as well in this region in Hull, and Freya's been instrumental in making sure we've got a safe space for anything we need to do with Andy's Man Club. Freya's been absolutely amazing, as has the organisation. And then I'm just going to show a brief video, so hopefully this will work. So if I'm just going to move on to this brief video.
Starting a group or a club called Andy's Man Club, and the reason I came up with it because I've been passionate about mental health for a long time. 3 months ago, my brother-in-law died by suicide, and I wanted to do something where I could personally contribute and make a group and go and help other men, come up with a plan where guys could come together and talk. And if it ends up being like tonight's the first night, so I'm quite nervous about tonight and who turns up, but the outreach that I've received has been unbelievable, and it's so rewarding now looking at what we've done and why we've set it up. Along with Andy's mum, we've got a purpose behind it, which is mental health and Andy, and that his name can live on and create a legacy and helping. And if we can move this to Bradford and Leeds and so on, and other people get involved and they want to set up an Andy's Man Club in Nottingham or up in Scotland, that'd be ideal.
Okay guys, are we ready? After 3, 1, 2, 3, it's okay, so!
Andy's Man Club.
Andy's Man Club. Andy's Man Club.
Andy's Man Club.
Everyone that goes to their own group says it's a brotherhood that they've got. It's like having a second family.
Worries and anxieties, a big part of my life. Started about 10 years ago. I didn't want to live anymore. I thought the world would be better off without me. I thought that maybe if I was to take my own life, I could be with my child. But I was very suicidal at the time.
As a child, it was getting bullied and not being able to say how I felt to people. To talk about the problems I went through as a child and everything that happened, I didn't want to.
My worries and anxieties started around the passing of my father in 2013. It affected me in my day-to-day life, it affected my job, it affected relationships. I didn't talk to my friends or family about my problems that were going on.
So the easiest thing for me was to not be here. It was a Sunday night, I think it was, and I knew I didn't want to be here, and I was planning that night to do something.
Thoughts going through my mind were how I'd be judged by people, real bad thoughts about, getting out of this life.
My worries and anxieties probably started a long time ago, but the most recent was last year. My cousin committed suicide. It was very hard to discuss my problems at that moment in time, as I couldn't even string a sentence together.
I felt very alone. I had a lot of people around me. I know a lot of people cared, but just something instinctively in me just wouldn't open up.
I never spoke about it with anyone. The problems have kept me in all my life.
There's a stigma attached to around how a man should appear and what he should say. There's an ideal view of a man, and I think people need to break the cycle of that and just not conform to that.
I know a lot of men that have struggled generally, especially in the UK. I think not enough men talk about the problems.
The first step towards helping myself was joining Andy's Man Club.
The only time I first spoke about my problems was when I first went to Andy's Man Club.
I first sought help through Andy's Man Club.
It's saved my life, really.
My name's Luke Campbell and I'm the founder of Andy's Man Club. I believe male mental health in our country has for a long time now been stigmatised. I know it's put out 3 stigmas.
weakness, burden, embarrassment, and I think that's a lot of the reason why people don't want to speak. They feel weak to speak, they feel like they'll burden others, and with the lad culture we have with banter, they feel like they're embarrassed to give any vulnerability away. 20 men out there watching this, it's not weak to talk, it's not weak to ask for help.
Steps that I've taken to resolve my issues. I've started talking a lot more to people. The importance of talking about how you feel is phenomenal. Talking's really opened me up to people, my family, my friends. It's turned my life around. I'm happier than I have been in my entire life.
No matter what, I talk about everything now. I won't keep anything in at all.
If I were going to give any advice, it's talk to whether it be your loved ones, professionals, your friends, and if you don't have any friends, reach out. You know, if you are willing to reach out, people are willing to help.
Getting guys in a room and opening up and giving people hope, giving people a lifeline, that's what Andy's Man Club's all about. My advice to any man out there is that you will get through this. At times you may think that there is no other way out, that relationship breakdown, that debt you're in, or whatever issues you're struggling with, that you can't get through that, but trust me, you can. I've dealt with enough people to know now that that cloud will pass. That roller coaster you're on where it just seems like you're going down, down, down will take a turn and you'll get back up. You just got to look up and know that the brighter times are coming, and I guarantee, reach out, it's okay to talk.
Brotherhood. Inspirational.
Simply the best.
Epic.
Life-changing. Inspirational.
Life. Brotherhood.
Successful.
Iconic. Saved my life. Life-changing.
Andy's Man Club to me is inspirational, and I'd say it's a brotherhood.
Andy's Man Club Hull saved my life. It's okay to talk.
So as you can see, we're doing some fantastic work, and I think our vision is really simple: save lives and bring about change, so no family has to experience the devastation caused by death by suicide. So a lot of people think that, you know, we set up Andy's Man Club for, you know, for men to come and talk. It was actually set up so no family have to experience the death by suicide. It causes absolute devastation, and that's why we are there for that one man. You know, that one man that needs to talk. But we're open for any man over 18 wanting to talk about to talk to other like-minded men. And it's every Monday night, 7 p.m, except bank holidays across the country. I think I always change. I think we're about 165 clubs at the moment. But just to give you an idea of magnitude, you know, we're open over 100,000 people a year now. But the goal is to have 1,100 clubs across the country. So we're not even touching the iceberg of where we're at. But again, there's no bookings, no charges, no referral fees, none of that's necessary. And currently about 3,500 men every week use the groups. I think it's pushing 4,000 at the moment. And we also continue support throughout the pandemic. So again, you know, like I mentioned, my own business specialising in cloud technology. I was finally able to give the organisation technology through the pandemic, and you know, working from the deep, we was able to move all clubs online. I think we got locked down on that first Monday, and we only missed one Monday with Andy's Man Club because we was able to train and get all the facilitators onto online, and made sure that we had our vital life-saving clubs working while I was online. So again, anyone wanting to learn more, you know, if anyone who's going through a storm or just been through a storm, you know, Andy's Man Club are talking groups for men to help you get through those storms. And you can find out more by going to www.andysmanclub.co.uk. There's a link on there where you can search for clubs in your area. If you're a business and you want to find out more, we have facilitators who can come in and talk about their sort of journey with Andy's Man Club, and you can just drop an email to info@andysmanclub.co.uk. And also, to keep the conversation going on, I'm quite active on LinkedIn. Scan that QR code with your phone, connect with me, reach out, and keep the conversation going. So that's been me. It's been great privilege to be on here. And Michael, I think you have a couple of questions, might you, for me? I think.
Yes. Thank you, Leon. That was really great, really powerful. Thank you for sharing that. And the video was quite touching as well. So really lovely to see, and some great work.
Thank you.
A couple of questions that have come through. So for those in the flexible workspace that are operators that offer services at the moment for physical well-being, so like gyms and yoga and other sort of studio things, etc. what other ways do you think we could broaden that as a flexible industry to then support mental health at work as well?
Well, there's a couple of ways, isn't there? I think doing events like this, one, open that up. But also I think inviting some of our facilitators to maybe come in, get an info pack, and just start a conversation, really. That's, if you think about what Andy's Man Club is, it's all about it's okay to talk. Just start that conversation. And you might be, a lot of businesses, I always think, struggle around having them conversations. But if you think about what Andy's Man Club, while we're breaking the stigma, is we're not professionals. We don't want to be professionals. We've been challenged over the years that we should be professionals, but we think by not being professionals, that's actually more powerful, because all we're doing is creating a loving space for people to talk about their emotions. And that's what workspaces should be like. That's the pivot I think we're seeing move. We're going from that industrial age into this more sort of knowledge-based working age, and we need to do more for mental health. And that starts with creating safe spaces. And if we make it even more simple, loving spaces, so people do feel okay to talk. And a lot of that might be, the Deep's done some fantastic events over the years where all of us are within the flex space, because obviously I am a business owner myself. We've got 20 staff going to the Etsy. Some of the events they've done is we've gone over to the Deep and we've gone into the Deep and met other businesses. We've done Macmillan mornings, Andy's Man Club mornings. We've done all different mornings. So I think just get people together and get conversations going is what, Michael.
Yeah, no, completely agree with that. And then what sort of practical steps do you think people can take at work to start the conversation or start to get more active around mental health?
I think just really simply, I think it starts with making sure you've got a robust appraisal in place. But none of these appraisals, the awkward appraisals that we have once a year where it's just about pay, you can't do that. I think you've got to do more than that. Bring an appraisal system where, you're checking in bi-weekly with your staff members. And you can use real simple ways to do that. People overcomplicate appraisals, I think, personally. And I think what you've got to really do is try and do things a little bit different on that. And I think that's where people are a little bit lost about how to do that. And I think a little practical tip, I suppose, you could take on that is, I do this in my own business. We do this across Andy's Man Club. If I was having a check-in with a member of staff or someone who directly reports to me, we do something called the Peace Index. It's a real simple thing, 5 areas. And I could say to you, Michael, right, these next 5 areas, give me a score from 1 to 100. 100 being you're really healthy, 1 being you're not healthy. So sense of purpose in the organisation and what you're doing. You can answer that. Place, the office environment, your home environment, how are you doing? Because what's going on? And you score that from 1 to 100. Provision in terms of how much money you're taking from the business, what's that like? You can also score your people in your life from a workplace perspective. You get on everyone in the workspace and personally. And then finally, your personal health, how are you doing mentally and physically? If you think about that, just a real simple exercise, and you was to score them over 100, you might say, for example, place might be 50. And you might say, well, if you was asking that question and I scored 50, what would your next question be to me? Why is it 50? Is that correct? So if you ask me that question, I'm just doing an extension at the minute at home. I've got the house upside down, the dogs can't get in and out, the kids are walking mud through the house. And 5 minutes before this call, my structural engineer rang me and said, we found a problem, right? So my place is not good at the minute. It's nearly Christmas. So all of a sudden, if you're leading or managing me, that I might not be at my best just because of that one simple metric. It might be nothing to do with work, but if I had to ask them simple 5 questions, that might not have happened. You might ask around my personal health, and I might be saying, well, yeah, I've banged a few pounds on it at the minute. I've just not been out active. It's dark nights. And again, it just starts the conversation. Well, what are you doing around that? You got any ideas, any tips? So all of a sudden, just from asking 5 simple questions, purpose, place, provision, people in your life and personal health, it's just a really easy conversation starter. And all of a sudden, if you was to do that every 2 weeks or every month with people in your team and you started tracking that from a data point perspective, also trying to build deep, meaningful relationships with people, I think the world will be a bit of a better place. So that'll be one of my practical tips businesses could do. Any thoughts on that, Michael?
No, I was going to say, I think the appraisal side of it is very good, but taking that sort of 10 minutes within that sort of hour slot to be more personable and just be like, how are you? What's going on? And I think people lose sight of taking that moment to just be like, are you okay? So yeah, completely agree with that, and love that little 5 question piece as well. It's really, really good. And then obviously some businesses and workplaces have introduced mental health first aiders. Do you think these are helpful, and do you think you'd encourage others to do more of this?
Oh, huge, yeah. A good friend of mine, like I said, Paul Longley, who started Think Mental Health, that was born out of the need. People didn't know how to have a conversation. And I think it's so important that you have people, because as much as I'm a massive advocate of Andy's Man Club, and I'm a massive advocate that I've got no qualifications in mental health, nor do I want any. But I've sat on the board. I've sat on the board of Andy's Man Club. I've sat on the board of Public Health England, the Suicide Prevention Board, and Task and Finish Group for men in this region. And for me, I think it's good to have mental health first aiders, because I think some members of staff will need that from a safeguarding point of view, because I still facilitate in Andy's Man Club, and some of the things I hear, of what men have gone through, the atrocities that have gone through, is tough to bear. We are people at the end of the day, and we need to be able to listen and care for people. I think it's really important. I think in business we certainly need that mix. Whereas Andy's Man Club, it is different. It is a different experience what we're doing, because the weird thing that no one understands about Andy's Man Club, but people struggle to get, is we don't give advice. I ask 5 questions, I listen, and we make sure no one else gives advice. So it's just completely listening. Whereas in business, it is a bit different. So, that 5 question thing I've just done there, my job as a leader is to give my staff resources. So that's time, money, or systems or processes to help them across the 5 areas wherever I best can. So that one, I'm talking about place, I might just need some more time to go figure that out, and can my work environment allow that? Whereas I think once you start really digging into, I believe we've all got mental health, and sometimes it's just like brushing your teeth. If you don't focus on brushing your teeth and you let that go, you've got a problem. It's no different with your mental health. So having first aid trainers, mental health first aid trainers on site, I think it's brilliant, because there's 5 steps to wellbeing, which I won't mention right now, but that's what you would get trained in, and all of a sudden it gives you a foundation to really help and start that conversation more effectively. So yeah, I would massively advocate that.
Great. Yeah, no, completely agree. And then obviously with Andy's Man Club operating across the UK, how do you think the ways within the flexible workspace industry that we could support with the work that you're doing, such as maybe providing meeting rooms or safe spaces for you guys to operate in different locations?
Yes, there's the opportunity to give us a safe space on a Monday night. We're always looking for spaces so we can grow clubs from. That's one area. Other areas, there's over 1,200 facilitators now, so we have to have regional meetups. So we're using the Deep for a regional meetup in the future for our guys. Give different regions space, so we've got our head office is in Halifax, but we do need space for meetings. Help us do partner days, because we need sponsorship. So help in them ways. So there's multiple ways. But also another story I want to sort of share as well is there's a company, for example, in the flex space within the Deep called Verizon, and they've done a few different events thanks to Freya, where they've done different incentives. I've got up and spoke. But if it's in a different space, again, linking in with the Man Club, there could be someone from the head office who could come, or someone in one of the clubs there who could go represent on a local level. And again, they've raised countless for the organisation, which has been amazing. But other stories as well, if I give a separate story away from the sort of flex space, is a good friend of mine works for a business in Brighton. It couldn't be any further from Hull if he tried. And they was really trying 4 years ago to do something different with mental health and start the conversation. And they did exactly what I said to everyone on this webinar. Is just get Andy's Man Club in and just do a talk and do a fundraiser if you like, if you want to. But what's interesting with Man Club, we never ask for money. So if you want to do it, it's more about the awareness. They did that, raised some funds for us over a series of 3-4 years, and we've just opened Andy's Man Club Brighton now, and that's been because of their efforts helping us do that. So again, if you haven't got a club within your region, and you start helping us, we want to have clubs in your region, and that starts with having real good business connections in there, where we can collaborate with people and then get into the business community, and then also get into the sort of local community as well.
Really great. And then obviously, if anyone wants to get involved or sort of contribute towards that, on the last page of your slide, we've got those contact details that we can then get.
Exactly that. Yeah, exactly that.
Really good. Thank you very much, Leon. Much appreciated your time. There doesn't appear to be any other questions that have popped through in that chat box. So then, yeah, like I said, really appreciated your time. Thank you very much for sharing everything that you and the team are doing with Andy's Man Club. Really important. I will then join in on that it's okay to talk. Thank you everyone for your time today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've taken some value out of it as well. And do enjoy the rest of your days and your week. Thank you and goodbye.
Thanks everyone.